Hello and welcome to another edition of the New Watchers on the Wall. Incredibly excited to be speaking to you all today. I know we haven't been as consistent as we should be,
There's been a lot happening.
but there's been a lot happening, a lot going on. But we have our special guest with us, Brother Carter. Dr. Carter, say what's up to the people.
Greetings, family.
And today we want to talk about Silo. And I know that we did not get a chance to, do the last, I think, 3 episodes, but of course we were watching the show and we had plenty to talk about with the show. And that's kind of what we want to talk about today. Some of our favorite moments from season 2, our overall rating, and what we're expecting in season 3. So to start it off, who wants to start us off with like a moment that just sticks with them, a moment or two that just sticks with them even to this day from the season?
Well, I think that what sticks with me is Juliette's character really keeping the excitement about what is in this new silo that she's in, and her willingness to find the truth, and for her to encounter the I guess the orphan children, if you will, and survive their attack. That was very refreshing to me in the sense that it brought a different dynamics to the show, where I thought it was just going to be between her and the other guy. What's his name?
Solo.
I thought it was going to really just be a long relationship with them building trust, but the dynamics of the children coming in and then explaining how the children end up being orphans, that I really like the dynamics of that component, and as well as some other things in season 2 as well.
I love that. Like, just to quickly piggyback off what you were saying, that dynamic, at first I hated Solo. Like they set him up to almost where he looked like he was this bad guy that was killing people who were trying to get into the vault. And then we learn as the show progresses that he is just a young guy, a guy who has been in this mental state of almost like a childhood, because he's been stuck in that vault and he watched his father get killed because he refused to open that vault. And it was interesting to see, just like what you were saying, how they brought it around with those orphan kids and how they hated Solo, but then they realized that Solo is who he is in the way he is because their parents actually shot him. And he had to defend himself. So that was definitely a moment that was interesting. So I like that, Brother Carter. What was one of your moments, a moment or two for you, Candace?
There's so many. But the last episode where we find out Bernard basically is speaking to the older lady. What is her name? Martha. And she is telling him like the story of like mechanical and how they speak. They have a separate language that they speak because you can't hear anything really down there. It's hard to hear when people are talking. So they're creating another language with like their hand signals and sign language, and they can be having a completely different conversation than what they're actually saying. So this whole time, Knox knew what she was doing, like what was happening.
And didn't I say that? I said I guarantee you
Knox knows.
But I thought Knox knew because he picked up on it. It was so cool to see that he knew because she was communicating with him in almost like sign language, right? Because they wouldn't recognize what they were. That was such a good moment.
And then it tied it back to like how down there in the down deep in mechanical, you can't, the ways that you have to kind of they created their own society within a society basically of how they have to communicate. And Bernard being the head of the silo, he doesn't know that. He's so far removed from what is going on with these people, like he couldn't even pick up. He thought of everything. He thought of everything, and his hubris really showed its ass in the last episode because she was trying to tell him, hey, he knew the whole time, and the gunpowder and Juliet's father sacrificing himself, and she got back that same. It was just like, oh no, she could, I mean, so there was just so many things. The Judge Meadows,
Oh
and
my
she
God.
was just like, oh, what a character in her death, and just, I mean, this season was really, really good.
There's probably 50
I
moments
mean,
that
there's
you can
so
go through where it's
many.
like amazing. Because even with Judge Meadows, like she was one of the reasons why I said, okay, we are watching this show. She shined those first 3 or 4 episodes when she was still alive in season 2.
The Safeguard
What's that?
with Kyle Lucas
When he
going
went down
down.
there. But I wanted to say that for later because Carter got some interesting thoughts about that
Okay.
thing. So I want to say, but that's a great point. Like some of mine, I mean, there was so many, just like what you guys are saying. I'm trying to think of one that just really kind of stands out. I would definitely have to go with like what you guys are saying as it relates to Bernard, and just seeing how manipulative this guy is throughout the whole season of doing what he's doing, and he doesn't care what he needs to do.
But Bernard is a product
Mhm.
of his station, of where he's been trained to do, to keep the silo running, just like Solo.
Mhm.
He wasn't trained, but he watched his father train as the shadow, and his father told him, do not open the door, do not let anybody in. He is a victim of his position and what he was,
Victim of Arrested Development.
right, also that.
Okay.
So,
well, how about this though? This was another thing that just blew my mind as the show went on, which was what was the lady's name that was married to Common in the show?
not sure.
What's Common's character's name in the show? Carter, what's Common's
there's
character's
so many
name
characters.
Don't make me lie, but one of the things I want to
Sims.
I want to bring in before we get off Bernard. I feel a little bit challenged for Bernard because as we see the story, is he really a villain or is he a protector? Because he has knowledge that they don't know about, and he's really trying to save them, and he's doing whatever necessary to save the people in the silo because he knows if they step outside a certain perimeter, everybody's gone. And so sometimes the need of the many outweighs the need of the few and the one, and he's willing to sacrifice how people see him to save everybody else.
And that's an interesting perspective, because we were talking about that a couple of weeks back, and it does make you wonder, is Bernard actually a good guy? And we will find out as time goes on and we learn more about these silos and what's going on, because just like what you said, looking at him, he looks like an asshole. He killed Judge Meadows. He does whatever he wants to do. He manipulates people. He forced old boy. He took him out of the mines. It was like, you gonna open this relic and figure things out. So that is a great point. But one of my favorite moments was Sims's wife's development. Camille. Her development throughout the show was amazing, and the things that she was doing, when she was helping to elevate her husband, when she was trying to help him become his shadow, when Sims became a judge, and just even when she
and the algorithm ended up choosing her because it's been watching all of these people and how they interact. And so, I mean, I'm not gonna we can get to the algorithm later, but
and that's crazy how like you said,
this whole thing has been run by, we are thinking that there's these people somewhere watching over them and making things happen. The whole time it's an algorithm. And it's this technology, this AI, oh my God, this AI that is pretty much saying y'all are not doing a good job protecting yourselves or caring for yourselves, because you started a war that wiped out the planet. I mean, it's what do you call it? Chemical warfare. You guys are not able to be humane and take care of yourself. So algorithm AI, we're going to do it for you. And so if you come down here, Lucas Kyle, this safeguard is going to happen. Y'all are not going to affect it. I can keep going, but like, it's just, that was insane to me.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of them. And I guess, and since we kind of jumped ahead, So what are your thoughts about that, Carter? When he finally went down there and he saw that thing down there and he's talking to that thing and it's like, you better not tell anybody. What are your thoughts about that, Carter?
Well, like a lot of the genre movies and TVs that ride off of this theme of artificial intelligence evolving beyond the prime director and taking on its own interpretation of how to protect humans, like we see in iRobot. We see the AI take over in the Matrix. On this show, the same thing. I think that this AI has kept these people captive in this silo for its own purposes. And it chooses one person that it feels that would have such love and compassion for the people that that person is willing to keep the people in control. And that it's just fascinating how, as Candace say, we thought it was some hierarchy council when it's actually a computer program that has everybody threatening, and that's threatening. That's why I said Bernard is a hero, because him and maybe the Indian guy and maybe a couple other people know the real story. That if these people step outside of this silo, we're gonna kill all of you all.
So the question is telling. So the question would be, guys, why though? Because this is the thing. In the silo that, and I don't know the answer to this, and we probably don't, but but just I would be curious to see what you guys think. When Julie made it to the other silo, and Solo was telling her that the people went outside and things were fine. And then all of a sudden they die. A lot of people thought maybe the dust blew up, and the poison got them again. But with the new information we've been given, it seems like it is quite possible that the silo was flooded with poison and that they were poisoned for leaving the silo. So my question would be, if this AI is there because it is overdone itself, because it's trying to protect humans, similar to what we saw with, like you said, iRobot, the Matrix, Terminator, all these other kind of things. With Terminator, they were trying to kill the humans. But why would the thing then kill those people? Like, because it doesn't want them to find other silos, because it doesn't want them to see that the world is actually okay. If this AI was designed to keep them alive, why did it kill all those people when they got out and it looked like the world was safe to habitate?
Maybe it only got so far. Maybe the program only got so far. Maybe it was only told keep them in.
Well, a lot of those shows where the AI is in control, its initial prime directive is to protect humans at all costs. And what we see a lot of time on these shows is that it changes the perimeter or the definition of what it considers protecting humans. And if they see that humans are a threat to each other as a whole, then it sees the termination of some humans to save other humans as fulfilling its prime directive of saving humans. And so when these people are getting out of this silo, are they really a threat? And that's what the AI has discerned, in my opinion, that anybody leaving the silo is a threat to the rest of the human race.
And it just makes me think too, like, just going back through previous episodes about how the AI was telling the doctor, they're telling these people, okay, you are the ones who are gonna be able to have children. You're gonna be the one who, oh, there it is, Patrick, isn't that it? So it was telling them everything that it needed to know. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. Hold on. We're trying to plug in the laptop. Okay. So there, that the AI, now I feel like I need to go back and see what else did I miss? What else is this algorithm controlling?
Because I think that it's more of an experiment. They're studying how humans are surviving. I think that we got a little peep into some understanding when they did the flashback with the new senator from Georgia, being an engineer, and they really gave an inference that the silos, in my opinion, is somewhere in Georgia, and that senator had something to do with the development of it. And then when he gave her the little Peds toy, and we see that Peds toy show up again in these episodes, is to kind of let us understand that something happened very devastating. They alluded to Iran being involved in some type of bomb. But I think the AI legitimately feels that it is saving the human species, the human race, by keeping them contained in these silos. And whenever somebody escape, they think that those human beings will be a threat to the rest of the human species.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think more and more, like you were saying, when I saw Kyle go down there and whatever that was talking with him, it did have that vibe and that feeling. So then the question is, I guess everybody else, because there's lots of these silos and they're all being ran by these AIs, hypothetically, if that's our theory, so to speak. What do y'all think it looks like then in the next season? What do you, if you had to guess and try to predict what that looks like, the AI next season and them trying to combat it, how do you think they try to do that? Because it's obvious that Julie knows that if you try to leave, they will kill you. So we know that it's going to be where they try to get rid of that gas or block that gas pump, because that's what occurred in the other silo or something to that effect. Um, but what do you think the end game is for them? You think that she tries to help them leave the silo, or what do you think she tries to do?
I think it. They are going to get. She's leading them to be free. In all of these stories, the triumph of the human will kicks in. Human beings are not meant to be captive by anything or anyone, and so it is just the nature of human beings to, once they find out the truth, they are compelled to fight even with their own life to have that freedom. And I think that she's trying to push humanity back above ground. I mean, we've been lied to, we've been bamboozled, hooked, we led astray and run them up. And she's now saying, look here, it's time for humans to be in control. Now, I don't think she knows it's the AI at this point, because she's over there with Solo them, and things are unraveling. But I think when they have a point of convergence and she get back to her primary silo, which she has already done, and begin to find out about this AI more, I think she's going to become this hero figure. And George, the guy that went down there, to be the shadow, I think him and her are going to form a very strong alliance with his technical skills and her ability to summon the people. I think they're going to find a way to get around people coming out of that silo. Now, I don't know if they're going to be able to free the people in the other silos immediately, but I think this upcoming season, we're going to have some flashbacks going to lead her to venture beyond this silo like she did the first season.
But what about the algorithm? Wouldn't it stop them from? I guess their first mission is to
block that
pipe.
Yeah.
Right. And then I feel like trying to get to the other silos using some type of the suits in the heat tape and trying to go in. She's gonna tell them there are other silos. She's gonna tell the people, well, certain people. You can't tell all the people. And maybe try to visit them. I don't know,
You know what? Now that you said that, I got a question, guys. Well, two things. I want to know, what kind of a leader do you think that Sims' wife is going to be now that she's in charge? But to go back to what you were saying, I'm confused now, and I don't know what. And audience, y'all answer this if you know the answer. Carter, y'all think about this. The silo that Solo was in, it appeared like the people when they went outside, they were safe. And that maybe that safeguard is what got them. Maybe they put the poison. I can't remember if they blocked the poison in that silo or they didn't block it. But they were outside for a time period and everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, that's when they started to die. Isn't that correct?
Yes, when they opened the silo and they ran out, and then all of a sudden the gases started killing them, and as it was open, it seeped out throughout the entire silo. So the gas is actually from the inside, and something on the outside came in, as because you could see people falling from the front back.
So the question is the outside world dangerous or not?
I
Because
think that there are some safeguards to, like a perimeter, if you will, of protection around those silos to keep people from escaping a certain perimeter.
So it poisons them from the outside and the inside.
Yes, it's a safe. That's the safeguard. You got the internal mechanism, and you have an external mechanism. In the event that people get out of the silo, there's a buffer perimeter that would stop them from actually getting too far
outside. Isn't there? Didn't Solo say that there is some type of IT on the outside of the silo?
That there's power lines that
run.
So that not IT, but the vault. Is it IT? The IT.
It's IT.
Yeah. But because the reason I asked that question in the first place was, if that is so, if your theory is right, Carter, it makes sense. But I asked my question anyway, just for the audience, and then because my thing was, if they got out and they were safe, then why is it that when people left Julie's silo and they would die soon after, they would die soon after, but the people in the other silo seem to be fine outside? But it makes sense what you're saying. Either the poison is so bad that once it goes through the silo, even as it escapes outside, it's strong enough, or they might have things outside too that's seeping the poison up as well.
Solo was talking about the IT.
Yeah. So that I guess that kind of makes sense, but then my next question is, what kind of what was Bernard's title? What was Bernard's title?
Before he was judge, he was kind of like over security. Judge, yeah. He was the judge once. Judge Metal it was the mayor. Killed.
He's the mayor now. He's the mayor. So what kind of a mayor do you think Sims' wife is going to be? Do you think that she's going to be like, because they chose her, because Sims went up in there and then she was like, yo, what's up, Sims? Get your ass out of here, you and your son, but you can stay, ma'am. And they allowed her to stay. So what kind of a mayor do you think she's going to be? And then who do you guys think she's going to select as her understudy?
You know how in the beginning I was calling her Lady Macbeth? She's Machiavellian.
Mm-hmm.
I think she is going to be a lot like Meadows. I think she's going to be a lot like Meadows.
She likes power. That's why the AI likes her, because it feeds into her weakness. It has analyzed her as one to be the kingmaker, if you will. So she's been trying to build her husband up to be in power, and she be the power behind her husband, because he was
doesn't really have
Menard, right? But now that she don't really need her husband, she's gonna be even more vicious than what people think Bernard was. And I think she's going to be willing to kill some people off to get control again.
I like that. I mean, because she is an interesting character, because she was manipulated. Even when she let the rebels from down low, she didn't let them get killed by everybody. She said, y'all get on that. She helped them escape. She was playing the long game. Yes. And the system recognizes that. But this is the thing. It appears like the mayor can choose whoever they want to be their shadow, right? Who do you think she's going to choose as her shadow? Because do you think that creates some issues in there? First of all, Sims already is starting to realize his wife may not be who he thinks, thought she was. He's starting to pick up more on that. But how do you think that would affect the relationship if she doesn't choose him as her shadow? Or do you think she will choose him as her shadow?
Well, I think we're going to have some power dynamics going on between the husband and the wife. Sims felt that he should have been the heir apparent. He should have been in control. He brought that up with Bernard when Bernard chose George over him, and it didn't sit well with him when he said, I sacrificed everything to be your shadow. Now that his wife is in control, I think it's going to create a real rift between the husband and the wife, and I think there's going to be some opposing teams. I think the husband going to end up trying to take the wife out because he feels that she's a threat to his ability to be in control.
It was so funny as you were starting to say that. I was saying I think she'll try to kill her husband because either way, because I think that they both know. I doubt that she's going to be able to be in the house and sleep with her eyes closed with her husband.
Wait,
moving
does
forward.
she have? Can she leave the
What?
vault?
Yeah, Bernard left the vault all the time. Remember, because Bernard gave Sims the key and the code, the 834, whatever the code was. So the person that there's the mayor can go in and out that vault as much as they want. They live a normal life, just like because Bernard was, kicking it with Judge Meadows and dating her and whatever he was doing or whatever. But so that's an interesting point.
Sims is the mayor and she is his shadow.
No, Sims is nobody. The machine chose his wife
to be the shadow.
No, the machine.
Bernard is like the mayor. Sims was the judge. George became Bernard's
shadow.
Kyle Lucas.
But the AI now is no longer dealing with Bernard because it made Sims' wife the new mayor. It's making her the person in charge now.
I think they're going to be an introduction of another character to be her shadow. In truth, it could be the guy that took Sims' place as the head of the guard. I could see him actually becoming her shadow because he kind of stepped up to Sims and said, "Look here, you had your day in the sun, and now I'm over the men. You need to step aside." I think because of his loyalty and his willingness to advance up, I think those two gonna make a good combination because he'll be willing to do something to her husband if he gets out of place.
What about Juliette?
He's got no, it won't be Juliette because Juliette's trying to free the people.
But I don't think so.
What you mean?
That she's trying to free them? Well, maybe I need to go back and watch it again.
Nah, she's definitely, when she gets back, her goal is going to be to try to get the people out because she knows how to stop that poison from escaping and stuff like that. Because this is the thing: if it is the silo that's truly poisoning the people, that means that it is safe to be outside. That means that it is literally safe to be outside, and because even after nuclear warfare and stuff like that, if they've been in those silos for hundreds of years, it's probably okay to go back out, especially since nature has been able to, probably rectify and fix things, so to speak. But I like that idea. Like the thing, it sounds like what's got me really going now that we're sitting here talking about this. I think that I really think that Sims and his wife, they're going to try to kill each other because I just see it because Sims is not going to like that she won. But not only that, he's going to realize that his wife is more powerful than what he thought she was. Smarter. She's more manipulative and smarter than because he thought he was the brains. But she was the one pulling the strings and helping him climb the corporate ladder, so to speak. And he didn't know it. And now he knows, and then the AI has chosen her. She's going to get rid of his ass.
His feelings are hurt.
And he's going to work with the rebels. I think he's going to work with Juliette. I think because he understands that the power is whoever the AI chooses. And so even if he wants to be the leader, he couldn't be the leader because he's not the chosen one that the AI will respond to.
Yeah.
So we're going to see him joining on with the rebel. I can see Bernard joining on with Juliette to fight against this AI. I think that's what we're going to have. And you're going to have the wife being Anakin, if you will, from Star Wars and striking down everybody. She's going to be the Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think it's gonna be absolutely amazing. I can't wait. So well, I guess we kind of talked about our bold predictions. Does anybody have any other bold predictions besides Sims and his wife about what we might see in season 3 before we go ahead and give it our overall season rating and such?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm still thinking.
Well, I think we're going to see a whole lot of more depth. I think the AI is going to have to prove that to the people that you are under a threat because the rebels have mounted a good force. This AI feel like the silo is losing control. The only way to get control back and position her to be empowered there's going to have to be some death that's going to put some fear in the hearts of the people. So if I don't think they're going to get the gas capped off as fast as they need to, and there's going to be some death, and then they're going to get the gas capped off. But I think we're going to see a lot of people die in the first 2 or 3 episodes of the new season.
I like that. I like that because they have to shake it up. I think the only reason I disagree with that, because I like that, because I think that's definitely a possibility, but I think more people would still kind of be alive, because I think if you release the gas, I don't know if you could control how much. I don't know how you could control how it's kind of like if you like if you release like a viral warfare, and you think it's going to only impact it's similar to like what happened with the Native Americans and the Pilgrims or whatever, how they gave them the sheets
blankets
to sleep on and stuff like that, and it was just supposed to get them, but it could always go wider than the intended purposes. So I wonder if they will even release the gas. But then if when Juliette comes and starts to share this information about what she's experienced, do you think that changes everybody's mindset, including people that work in IT and security and stuff like that? Like those, what is that force of security to where it's like all the black and they have the black
the Raiders,
people like that. Like, do you think those people, once Juliette makes it back and she starts to share information, or will they let Juliette? Do you think that she will be able to? Do you think that she would have to go into hiding when she gets back? Because I doubt that the AI and even the new mayor is going to be like, yeah, Juliette, you could walk around the silo and just prophesize to people. Do you think she's going to have to go in hiding?
No, I think she's a Moses figure. She's coming to set the people free. That's why they were foreshadowing her coming when they kept saying Juliette is still alive. They're looking forward to Juliette coming back to inspire them, because now they know, as we saw on Mad Max, there's something beyond the Thunderdome, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and then when she started telling them there's another silo, they're gonna say, whoa, wait a minute, we can stretch out ourselves beyond this confine. That's why I believe the AI is going to release the gas. Now you got to keep in mind the AI has a way of sectioning off that silo, because when Solo family died, he didn't die in that vault. So that means that there's a way to stop the gas from going to every place in the silo. I think that it's going to section off certain areas where it's going to kill some people. But some people got to die in order for them to get the AI to get control. Some people have to die.
Yeah, I can see that, because maybe the higher ups, the people that's in IT, and then there's even other levels where, because it's a huge hierarchy system. You got the really, it's just like any capitalistic society up in that thing, where you got the people all the way at the bottom, then you got the middle. That's an interesting point.
Because they didn't know about the safeguard. That's the only reason the people were real safe, because Bernard kept that secret away from them. They did not know that if they went to a certain spot, they would be killed. When Julia come back and tell everybody about this safeguard, it's going to have to change the perimeters on how the AI going to react, because now the people know the secret.
But the thing is, the powers that be, right? Are they going? I guess what I'm saying is, the powers that be, the AI, and like even beyond when you say, oh man, the camera just died, even beyond, like when you say, when okay, so you have this hierarchy. It's not going to work, and it's just because the battery died. But we're getting no, just end it. Just turn off.
I see Candace.
Yeah, because she's using her other camera. Yeah. I don't want her to do that. But to not lose my train of thought. Okay, so in this silo, you have a hierarchy, right? And then you have some people in this silo that are living a good life because they live all the way up on the top floor. When you talk about like the ITs, the people that's living this good life, they may not necessarily want to go and be free, because now you're nobody. Now, if we all walk out this silo, you were living this plush, lavish lifestyle up on the top floor of the silo. Now you lose that prestige or whatever you want to call it. So my question is, those people are not going to let Juliette just walk around that silo prophesying like Jesus or something. They're going to try to kill her or get rid of her or not let her in the silo.
She needs her 12 disciples.
But of course the plutocrats or the hierarchy is going to hold their position, but she's a voice for the people, and that's why we're going to have these two opposing societies fighting against each other. The classes against the masses, and Juliette represents the rebels if it was Star Wars, and Sim's wife represents the empire. And so, but Juliette will get, the people will get a chance to be led by Juliette. The thing is, how would Juliette be able to save them from the AI unless she comes up with some type of innovative way to stop the AI from killing everybody? So I'm interested in seeing how that plays out.
Yeah, I'm interested to see too, and how they try to offer, because I'm just like, where does she go in the silo? Does she hide in the bottom of the silo? Because they're gonna try to kill her.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just curious to know where she's gonna go once she gets back in the silo. And then also I'm also curious because I'm pretty sure Bernard is not dead. And I saw one video and a guy had a great theory. He said that the reason that Juliette is going to survive is because, if you recall, Silo switched her suit. She has a fireman suit on. Remember, she doesn't have that regular suit, so she's probably fireproof. And then we saw her jump on Bernard. So I think Bernard is going to be alive. He's probably going to be burnt the fuck up though. But what do you think, if you had to guess real quick, what is Bernard's role going to be moving forward? Because he's no longer the mayor, and the AI has chosen someone else at this point. Does he join the rebels? What do y'all think?
I think he joins the rebel. I think right now he has a sense of freedom. He has had to live this lie to protect the masses of the people all of this time, and he no longer is confined. He sacrificed the love of his life to protect the greater good of everyone, and now that has been taken off of him. The heavy is the head that wears the crown. He no longer has to wear the crown. And in the sense of atonement, to atone for his past transgressions, he's going to feel like he has to help Juliette to help the people so that he can give some meaning to the death of Judge Meadows.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right. To get ready to wrap this video up, overall season rating, how many silos would you give the show out of 10? And then Candace, what did IBND give it? But don't tell that just yet. Let's give ours. Then we'll talk about what IBND or whatever gave it. So how many silos out of 10 would you give it, Carter?
I give it an 8, and the only reason I give it an 8, I think that they stretched it too long when she was in the silo with Solo and the rest of the people. I think it got a little dead sometimes, and the excitement was really more in the main silo. So I give it an 8 for that. That's the only reason I give it an 8.
Interesting. I like that.
I give it a 9.
Okay.
I give it a 9 only because there were some parts of like the solo silo that were kind of dragging a little bit, but really I don't have anything negative to say about this season at all.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. Like I'm actually looking forward to this show coming back just as much as I'm looking forward to From. I would give it a 9. You said what?
Another 2 years.
Silo's not coming out for 2 years?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying a lot of these shows are like making us wait like 2 years for 8 episodes. And I'm
gonna have to look and see, because that would hurt my feelings. But IB&D gave it an 8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 88%. Prime Video 8 out of 10. So they're basically right, what we say about ours. But I would give it a 9. I like what you said, Carter, about like it feeling a little bit slow over there with Solo. And at times I kind of felt that way, but I felt like they redeemed it with everything we learned about him that last episode or two. Because they completely flipped the script on me, because I thought Solo was going to be a bad guy and stuff like that. So I give him some love for that. But I really like the character, the development, how they bounce back and forth to the different silos and what's going on in the dynamics. Like I'm truly excited about the next season.
Yes.
All right, brother Carter, thank you so much for joining us. If you guys have been watching, what would you get? What would you rate the show? What would you give it? How many silos would you give it? What was your favorite moment about the show? What was something you would have liked to have seen improved? As always, we will catch you in the next video, because our watch has ended. Brother Carter, hold on 1 second.